I had a dream. This dream came the last week of February 2007, when the weather was unseasonably warm for Kansas City. Many people were already wearing their flip-flops, their sandals, and their shorts, and it was so warm that I decided I was going to get out my own spring and summer clothes. But I had a dream that night, and the Lord said to me, "Do not take out your spring and summer clothes yet, for there is still more snow coming. Behold, even into April." And He said, "With every snowflake that falls to the ground, I want you to remember righteousness, righteousness, righteousness. With every snowflake that falls to the ground, remember purity, purity, purity." I was taken and placed in the middle of a large training area full of many people. And this part of the dream was a picture of the bride being prepared. We all wore white jerseys as if we were ready to compete in the Olympics, but we were not clean. My eyes were open to see writing on each jersey describing that person's secret life. I could see selfish ambition written on some jerseys. I saw gossip on others. I saw grumbling and complaining. These sins were highlighted as big deals to God. Some people's jerseys were labeled with sexual sin, lustful thoughts and pornography, adultery and fornication. God was watching every hidden thing. Despite the secrets we keep to ourselves in darkness, I could see in this dream that God sees everything. But in this dream, the Lord appeared with a dual expression of His heart. He was at once the tender father and the firm athletic coach. He had so much passion for us to become the greatest that He created us to be. He was training us because He was determined that we would win the race. The Lord looked at all of our jerseys with desire and determination. He was desiring our affection. He was desiring our maturity, and He was determined about our future with Him. As a father, He was full of love for us, even in our weakness. He was overjoyed with our choice to follow Him, even though He knew there was much work to be done. I could feel His fatherly heart and how He longed to take care of us, and at the same time, His eyes were focused like a training coach. He was intent on preparing us. He showed me that there would be a season of intense rain in addition to the season of snow in Kansas City. I saw the rain saturate the ground, and the Lord kept saying, with every drop of rain that falls to the ground, I'm sending grace upon grace upon grace to get you free from that which trips you up, from the sin that so easily entangles you. And suddenly the scene changed, and I saw people standing in a line waiting to pray publicly. And one by one they stepped forward. They prayed the same thing from Isaiah 64:1. "Oh Lord, that you would rend the heavens, that you would come down." But stationed in between each person were enormous angels. The angels would respond to each prayer with a cry more intense and more powerful than the cry of the person in the prayer line. With the Word of God already open in their hands, these angels responded with Joel 2:13 to each prayer, and they cried out with a voice like the sea, "You rend your heart." Each intercessor in the line would open his or her Bible and pray, and the angel behind the intercessor would respond immediately. And then the intercessor would follow, and it became this chorus of intercessors saying, "Lord, rend the heavens." And these angelic beings would say, "You rend your heart," back and forth, "God, rend the heavens." And the angelic beings say, "You rend your heart." And I watched this back and forth interaction. The compassionate, steady gaze of our Father was upon us, the one who was training us and who wanted to purify us. His gaze was so kind and so tender. His eyes danced with pure enjoyment as the intercessors prayed. And He said, I'm sending signs to let you know I'm coming to help you. The snow is coming as a reminder of righteousness. The rain is coming as my promise to move the heavenly hosts on your behalf, because I want a pure and shining bride. And if you will do your part, I'm going to come along behind you and shove you into victory. When you see the snow, think of me. When you see the rain, think of me. Those were his words. And in the dream, I said, Lord, how do I do this? How do I live totally holy? And he answered me and he said, it's not that hard. And he said, you do not have to climb the mountain of holiness and perfection in one day, but go this way, day by day, step by step, choice by choice, and yes by yes. It is one day at a time, one step at a time, one choice at a time, and one yes at a time. You may not be totally perfect for the rest of the week, but your next choice can be a yes for me. And your next choice after that. And if you mess up, press delete and quickly get right back into step. And the Lord promised, and he said, if you will do the little of taking the step-by-step journey, he said, I will come to you and I will do the big and I will set you free. And he promised that which tripped you up yesterday, you shall tread upon tomorrow. All of us, the bride, as we began to run the race, the wind of God's grace would come behind each person and shove us through the finish line. Each person individually broke the ribbon at the end of their race. All the sin written on each jersey fell, and the jerseys transformed into pristine white. That was the dream. And what is so phenomenal about this dream is that God answered, because after weeks of unseasonably warm weather, the April snow came on Friday the 13th. It began at 8 p.m. and continued until 6 a.m. The unprecedented rains started around 11 p.m. on May 5th and continued for over 2 days. The nearby Blue River and rivers throughout Missouri spilled over their banks on the last day of the rain. And God was serious. And his promise was, if you do the little, I will come to you and do the big. And that which tripped you up yesterday, you shall tread upon tomorrow.